Hey, cousin, what's buzzin'? It's your boy here. We back. We got some more Fae content. We have the Datamines here for the new Mythic hero, Mythic Veyle here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at her stat line and all that stuff, courtesy, of course, of Mr. Gengar. And also, we're going to do a little discussion on her and her new skill, which is the Tempo skill. All right, so here we go for her stats. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. All right, there we go. This new layout that they did for Reddit is pretty wonky. I'm not the biggest fan, but what are you going to do? Also, you may notice that I'm using Windows 11 now because my computer crashed and I had to do a full reboot and get a new operating system and all that. So there you guys go. That is the reason for the Windows 11 RIP. Okay, so stat line for Veyle, we've got here 39 HP. We have also 46 attack. We got 30 speed, 21 defense, and then 46 res, so pretty good res. We want her to have good res. Gives her a 182 BST overall, which is pretty good for a tome infantry type. Although I guess that is in line with the new power creep from Choose Your Legend 7. Let's go ahead and calculate her boons and banes now. So we do the level 40 stats minus the level 1 stats. All right, so that, I think 22, I think that's a super bane for HP, possibly. I only remember the numbers for boons and bane, or just boons rather. All right, so she has a super boon on attack because that number there is 30. All right, we got another 22 there. That possibly super bane on speed. All right, 21 for defense, minus 4 is 17. That's nothing. And then res at 46 minus 7 from res there. That gives us 39 for a super boon on attack and res, which is what we would pretty much expect for Veyle. So double super boons. Now, she wants to have as much res as she can possibly get, and the reason why that is because Veyle is able to grant Scowl support with her C skill to your allies that are within 2 spaces of her. And the cool thing about that is that your Veyle is going to be doing the res check for the Scowl instead of your units that are getting support. So this can enable Scowl on really low res units now, which is pretty cool. And you don't have to focus on stacking res if you're going to run Scowl. You can just res stack your Veyle, and that should be enough. And then your other units can stat better stacks. So, for example, let's take Legendary Alear. If you wanted to give her speed stacking, which makes a lot of sense. She is a very competent player phaser with a brave attack weapon. So if you want to just give her attack and speed finish 4 in the ace skill and just stack all attack and speed, Scowl was really good on that Alear prior to this, but not so much if you're going to run her with Veyle, because now you can continue to stack attack and speed on Alear, which is what you want to do, and she doesn't need to worry about res, and she's still going to get the Scowl support from Veyle's C skill, which is all really nice. So finally, we're getting some love here for defensive units, which I think is very good. Veyle is an offensive mythic hero, though, which I think they could have made her an anima hero instead, or maybe darkness hero, just to give the Scowl support to a defensive-oriented team. This is going to promote you to run her on offense and try to run like God tanks or Omni tanks or save units or whatever it is, and then you're going to get Scowl support on those units to help them tank a little better. I don't really think that's going to be an end-all, be-all, though, because, of course, you're going to run up to units like Catria and Cordelia that are giving brave attack support. Then those units may have null follow-up physical null follow-up or magic null follow-up, so they can cut DR in half. Or they may have effective damage or like any other number of ways to do a ton of damage to units without having to rely on specials anyway. That is where the game is starting to gear towards at this point, I would say. With support Scowl now being a thing, we are looking more so towards builds that are cutting DR with regular attacks as opposed to doing it with special attacks. So just some food for thought there. And her B skill, of course, is Tempo 4, which grants you the tempo effect. It does stat drops, and it also cuts DR in half. So her new B skill is self-balancing. It gives you the answer to Veyle giving Scowl to everybody, while also just coming with some awesome effects there and also changing the meta. So pretty cool. All right, we'll take a look at her artwork here. I don't know why I had this pulled up. Yeah, I guess just more artwork of her. I guess I was looking for the artwork here, but it's not posted yet. All right, so here is Veyle's neutral artwork. It's pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of Veyle, personally, but I mean, it does suit Veyle pretty well here. Very soft colors. All right, here we have the attacking artwork. Then we got the special attack art. Pretty nice effect there on the, like, darkness ball of energy. She's using Shadow Ball there. All right, they gave her a TM30. All right, and then finally, the injured artwork from Veyle. Okay, so let's take a look at Reddit once again. Let's see if anything new has been posted. Nope, doesn't look like it. So, oh wait, no, this is Mr. Gengar's post. Let's go back to the main page here. Yeah, the new layout for Reddit is just not as good as the other one was. Not the biggest fan of this. Okay, so what is there to really say about Veyle? I would say you can skip her safely. It's not like she's a must summon or anything of that nature. She is definitely going to be very helpful if you do summon for her, though. But I said this in the trailer video that it's going to depend on your playstyle pretty much. Like, are you focusing more on bait units and omni-tanking and save skills and things like that? Or do you favor just going balls to the walls offense and applying pressure to the opponents with just a non-stop bombardment of attacks? So that's the way I like to play, just go all in on offense. So I like Veyle, she can still help for offense too. She is still giving the Asker support, where she gives Resonant Blades and Resonant Shields at the start, as well as attack and res up 6 to allies in 2 spaces. So you can't sleep on the support. That's 2 status effects, of course. That's very helpful for units with Prime 4, just getting them enabled right out the gates, which is nice. But you can definitely safely skip this Veyle. I wouldn't say she's a must summon. She is a very helpful summon, and I think that's just about the extent of it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What are you guys thinking about the new Veyle? And as for her B skill, Tempo 4, it is premier fodder. I think it's actually better than Magic Null Follow-Up at the moment, because as I said before, the Null Follow-Up effect from Magic Null Follow-Up is kind of redundant, because you can get it on a lot of very commonly used units that people are running. So Legendary Alincia just gives everyone Null Follow-Up. There's also the Caden Lindy who does it. You can also set up your Citrine in a way where she can give party-wide Null Follow-Up. And there's just a ton of other ways to get Null Follow-Ups. So it's not so mandatory to have that on the B skill. The cutting of DR is what we want. And now adding Tempo into the mix is going to be very good. Tempo is a better way to deal some damage to the enemies by nullifying their guard and their special acceleration, making it harder for them to get specials against you. So if your offensive unit has a ton of DR and it's pierceable, in the instance of Windclawed, for example, they wouldn't be able to hit him with a special and nullify his DR from Fallen Star, so he just becomes even more of a threat. So like Tempo effects, I guess you wouldn't really be able to run Tempo on that guy, though. He's a flying type. Tempo is locked to infantry only, so there is that, but just an example of like offensive units that rely on some player phase DR to survive. Tempo can be very nice there, as well as nullifying enemy guards, so you can still get your specials off. You can also cut the DR in half now, which, as I said before, we're getting more and more pulse effects, we're getting more and more scowl effects and things like that. They really don't want you to be able to run Special Spiral 4, so they're trying their best to make it more competitive for the B skill than just Special Spiral 4 on everybody, which it is seeming to trend in that direction. So that is pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the coverage on Mythic Veyle here. I was about to call her Legendary Veyle. You know, to be honest, I don't see why she couldn't have been Legendary. Like, isn't she in the same category as characters like Fa and Tiki and like all those baby dragons that ended up getting legendary alts? Couldn't Veyle have been in that same category? I don't understand why she had to be Mythic specifically, as opposed to just being legendary compared to like the other dragons that got legendary alts, but it is what it is. So this your boy Tacho signing out. We may be back in a couple of hours in the event that they show off the remixes that are coming up in the next batch. So stick around for that if we're getting it tonight. And that's going to wrap us up for now. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Take care, fellas. And I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.